Top 10 cards, Yu Yu Hakusho Dark Tournament. Let's get it kicked off with number 10. I have an asset, Edunbox. It's a 2-diff, commit, return this attack to its printed speed and damage, return it to its printed attack zone. If it was unblockable, it is no longer unblockable. This is a reset in every way imaginable, and it doesn't cost you to destroy anything. It doesn't cost you to remove anything. You're not even flipping it. You can do this on every single turn cycle that you have it out. So if you build this early in the game, you could use this 4, 5, 6 times throughout the course of a game. And this is a game winner right here. We got some very, very strong assets in Yu Yu Hakusho Dark Tournament. I was between Edunbox and Cape of No Return here at number 10. The reason I went with Edunbox is because it is repeatable, whereas Cape of No Return is a one-time use. And the other thing is, an asset is a lot harder for your rival to deal with. You know, there's a lot of ways to cancel foundations, to flip your rival foundations, to stun them out, but you can't do that to Edunbox. We don't have a ton of ways to deal with rival assets other than like Hacker Extraordinaire, for example. And so it feels more safe on your stage. Let's go to number 9, Battle Aura Release. 4-diff, 4-high-4. This is a pretty simple card. Flip 1 foundation, draw 1 card. This attack gets +X damage. X equals the number of face downs in your stage, max 4. And then it's just a 2 mid block. It's got some nice keywords, charged and ranged. One of the big things that we saw with Yu Yu Hakusho is that it feels like all of the best cards in the set have this ranged keyword. So the ranged keyword is the new punch keyword from the My Hero format. I was between Battle Aura Release and Mop Strike for this position at number 9. The reason I went with Battle Aura Release is that Mop Strike stays as a 4-high-4, whereas Battle Aura Release can become a 4-high-8 and really apply pressure on your opponent stats-wise and force them to block and deal with this card. Mop Strike basically is a discard 1, draw 2. But Battle Aura Release feels amazing at all points in the game. Early in the game, simply to draw the card. Late in the game, it can be an 8 damage stat hammer. Feels a little more versatile than Mop Strike. A little more, like Mop Strike is never going to be, to me, the reason you win the game. It's just a nice flow piece. Whereas Battle Aura Release can be the reason that you win the game. On these symbols, we're going to see it everywhere as a 3 or 4x. On water and earth, it plays really nicely with Falling Skies. Since it's a high attack, the death symbol has a really, really nice ranged keyword package right now. Let's jump to number 8. Keiko's Aid, our first foundation here. This is one of the reprints. It's a 2-diff, 3-high block. Flip after you block an attack, your rival's next attack gets +2 difficulty. Basically, this is flip Breaker 2. Now, I know Breaker affects their check. This is affecting their difficulty, but it's a Breaker that your rival can't play around. If you say Breaker 2, your rival can play a foundation and then play an attack, and they can make it like Breaker 1. And maybe they only needed that last attack to win the game. Whereas here, you can't simply play a foundation. It says your rival's next attack. Also, a lot of the times we see foundations hacking checks and making difficulties harder. It will say something like, failing that check will not end the combat phase. We don't see that here. Failing the check does end the combat phase. This is extremely strong. Imagine you have 2 or 3 of these in your stage. How is your rival going to press through that? And then you even have ways like on life and death, I believe. You can use like a Falling Heel Strike and unflip this. It's going to be causing a lot of people problems. Number 7, Armor of the Wolf. Now this might be kind of a hot take for me to put Armor of the Wolf in the top 10 because it is a little more niche than the other cards in this set, but I think it's, even though it's more niche, it is an incredible game-winning card when it goes off, especially in characters like Amajiki, Mirio. Of course, it's in Momotaro's kit. Every time your rival passes on an enhance, this is getting a damage. And then if it's in your momentum, it's going to give everything a damage. And we have tons of ways to get this into our momentum without even doing damage. We can use Manifest, for example. We can use the Steaming Sphere's power in Momotaro's kit to go and put it in. We can use Forced Quirk activation to put Armor of the Wolf into our momentum. A lot of different ways to get that +1 damage on all of your attacks without even landing this. It also has EX3 and Powerful 3. It can be a great string starter. It can be a string finisher. You know, if you are a character like, for example, I've been playing this card in my Chaos Mirio list. And one of the biggest benefits of Mirio is that you're calling out a lot of enhances. If you have Lemillion of the big 3, that's 3 enhances on this attack alone on that one foundation. Pretty soon, this becomes like a 5 low, 15 damage move. In Amajiki, it gets even crazier because you just have all of these enhances to call in your momentum. And then if your rival, like for example, if you're Amajiki and your rival plays some sort of reset, then you can just dump your momentum into it with Powerful, or you can call your Amajiki enhance. Like, you could make this a huge move 3 times over. On its own right, on Amajiki's right, and then on the Powerful 3 right. Makes it just an incredible move. At number 6, we have the Dark Tournament Looms. A very simple 1-diff action. Remove, add 1 card from your momentum to your hand, draw 1 card. At worst, this is a 1-diff action that just says, it replaces itself. That's not bad. But at best, you're grabbing an attack from your hand and you're drawing a card. So this not only replaces itself, but it draws you an attack selectively. This card is even better now than it was in the past in Retro, because we can look at our momentum. So if we've been stacking things from the top of our deck, we can now look at our momentum, selectively pull back. If we're playing like defense, we can pull back a breaker block, cheerful uppercut block, something along those lines, or a hand trap. On offense, we're going to be pulling back our best attack, and it costs us virtually nothing. Because it's a 1-diff, we can use this at any point in our attack string. On our 4th attack, we could still play this on a 5 and easily pass that check. So like I was saying with Armor of the Wolf, we have all sorts of ways to easily put it into our momentum. Now we are going to use Dark Tournament Looms and just pull it back to our hand. Or like Chaos Mirio, I'm going to play Phantom Threat. I'm going to say Phantom Threat goes to my momentum. I'm going to Dark Tournament Looms. I'm going to pick up my Phantom Threat and send it at you again. There's a lot of versatility here. Coming in at number 5. So we're done with our 10 through 6. And now we're to the best of the set. And I've definitely got some hot takes here. So let me know what you think of these. And if you think I have snubbed any cards or any of these are way too high. Ice Sword Execution. 5-diff, 5 high 5. Name 1 foundation, commit all copies of that foundation. And then you can discard momentum. This attack is 5 damage. Freeze 1 rival foundation. So this has a lot of versatility to it. It's an incredible string opener that you could just commit down your rival's stage. Let's say you name a foundation that's not very impactful, but they have 2 or 3 copies of it. Now it's like a 5-diff, 5 high 5, stun 2 or stun 3. That's good in its own right. Now let's say you name a foundation that has massive defensive impact. We didn't really get a lot of selective commits in Yu Yu Hakusho Dark Tournament. I know in my Order Hawks list that Ice Sword Execution is immediately going in. It's basically taking the place of Electric Jolt in the deck, where I was playing Jolt just to get it to my momentum so that I could have a selective commit on offense. Here we have it on a 5-diff string starter, and then we can also use it as a finisher because we can discard a momentum, give it 5 damage. 5 high 10, that's going to be 3 stats per difficulty. That's always my marker for a very strong attack. And it says freeze a rival foundation. There is a very powerful order weapons build right now between Ice Sword Execution, Walk the Dog, and Mop Strike. I've been cooking a little bit lately with Stain 2 with that trio of weapons. Coming in at number 4, we have Referee Jury. I think the best hand trap coming out in Yu Yu Hakusho Dark Tournament. Enhance, change this attack's damage to 4. If it deals damage, draw a card. Response in the card pool. Flip and commit a foundation. After your rival plays an enhance ability, they commit 1 foundation. This is just a 2 diff, so it's very, very easy to pass this check. Even if you had played 3 blocks in your turn and you are stunned out, you can still play referee jury and just check a 5 on it and you're good to go. And that changed this attack's damage to 4. Very versatile. You can use it on your turn. You can use it on your rival's turn. 90% of the time you're going to use it on your rival's turn. But with all of the damage reduction in the format right now, it's not inconceivable to use this on offense. But on defense, this is going to replace itself. It's going to be a reset that you play from your hand and that your rival does not see coming. And then it's going to be like a pseudo breaker 1 that they can't really play around. A stun 1 on your rival's turn. This is incredibly powerful, more than pays off being a 4 check. I think this is going to be an action that people start with just putting 1 in their deck and testing out. And by the end of the format, I think we're going to find decks with 3 copies of this in their deck. It's going to be like the barrier shield of Yu Yu Hakusho. Right now, people are playing with a straight face 3 or 4 copies of barrier shield in their deck. That's going to be referee jury pretty soon, especially with all of these ways where we're making these like dunk attacks right now in the Yu Yu Hakusho format. And this is a reset that your rival cannot see coming and that they have very, very little interaction to cancel. At number 3, we have getting the bronze medal, Walk the Dog, the ultra rare that I got to reveal. 8 diff, 6 low 6. Gets -1 difficulty for each committed foundation in your rival's stage. Max -4. Draw a card for each copy of Walk the Dog in your card pool. Ranged, weapon, stun 1, powerful 3. You are playing this as a 4 diff 80% of the time, as a 5 diff 10% of the time. Like, it is very rare to not be playing this on a 4 or 5, especially if you drew some other attacks and you can play those first and get your rival to block those and commit their stage even a little bit. Or if your rival even attacked into a little bit on their turn, checked a single 3 and had to commit some foundations, then this is live. As a 4 diff, 6 low 6 is incredible for the stats alone. Stats alone, you play this card as a 4 diff. But it also draws a card, it also stuns 1, it also has powerful 3. It is a game winner. Early in the game, it simply draws you cards and forces your rival to deal with it. I've been playing this in Air Jin, where it becomes an 8 low 6 with powerful 3, and I can dump the momentum that I've been getting because I've been adding speed to all of my attacks. I've even been playing this in Mirio, even though it's not a slammer punch, simply because it's already a low and it's just that strong and there's not a lot of slam and punch options on the Chaos and Air symbols. Chaos Toga 3 just is incredible with this card, getting to be the momentum outlet, the finisher, 6 speed. Once you're committed out, you just can't handle this unless you have some sort of hand trap in your hand. At number 2, the penultimate card in the set, we have Weapon Clash, a foundation. 2 div, 3 high block, destroy 1 face down foundation. This attack gets -2 damage. Bottom enhance, flip, build the top card of your deck, face down, committed. This is going to be a format warping foundation. The level of damage reduction that we got in Yu Yu Hakusho is incredible, especially in Bui's kit. And this foundation is the best of the best. And that's why it's up here at number 2. Whenever you're talking about the best 1 or 2 cards in the set, you're talking about cards that could very easily be problematic. If you have a few of these in your stage and you've built to like 15, 20 foundations, that's just going to be -4 damage on all of your rivals' attacks. I've been playing a Earth Kuwabara list where you build very quickly to 15, you get a few weapon clashes on stage, and you just feel untouchable with the amount of damage reduction you have. It shares the water symbol with a character like Recovery Girl, who can just subtract your damage down to 1. She's going to take 1. She's going to build her best thing out of her discard pile. It's going to feel really, really bad. And because of cards like Weapon Clash and the damage reduction, I'm not so sure stringing is going to be the best move in the meta like it was in My Hero. In the My Hero competitive format, it was all about playing as many attacks as you can and getting a lot of free and repeatable stats on those attacks. Well, with cards like Weapon Clash, you won't care about blocking anymore. You're only going to have to block 1 or 2 things that your rival sends out, and then you're just going to reduce the damage of everything else. And then it just has this bottom enhance. Flip, build the top card of your deck, face down committed. On the earth and water symbols, you can just sacrifice those face down committed foundations to cards like Quick Response for 2 speed. With characters like Younger Toguro, he's just going to use that to get more damage on his attacks. So this feels great on our lethal attack string. It feels great on defense, and everybody is going to have to learn to overcome this. If I was playing like Ice Sword Execution from our number 5 card in the set, and they had 3 weapon clashes on stage, it would feel incredible to say commit down all of your weapon clashes. That's going to be the target for that card quite a bit. Okay, the best card in Yu Yu Hakusho Dark Tournament, without a question, is Trey Size. A very, very simple attack. 4 diff, 4 low 3. Enhanced, you may destroy 1 ready foundation to pay for this attack's echo cost. It has ally, echo, ranged, and tech. The ultra rare from Karasu's kit, Trey Size, is your best card in Yu Yu Hakusho Dark Tournament. Now, this one is probably going to be a little bit controversial. It feels too simple to be the best card in the set. But that's why it's so great. Any character that can add damage to this attack is going to be running it at a 3 or 4x. The echo keyword is just an insane keyword. And allowing you to echo for free is nuts. I think this could be very problematic. Like I said, the top cards in the set are going to be cards that could be problems going forward for the format. So Weapon Clash is a little problematic from the damage reduction, and Trey Size is problematic in the sense that echoes should not be free. That is way too powerful of a mechanic, in my opinion. Let's just think about what the echo keyword is doing. Basically saying when you play this, it's not going to count towards progressive, and you get to play it again. And you basically get to draw it from your discard pile and play a second copy of it. That's crazy. Like, the echo keyword is a crazy keyword. The reason we haven't seen it at massive amounts in competitive play is because UVS Games hasn't printed them. We haven't gotten them. When they first came out, we were given, like, in League of Villains, we were given like 5 echoes. All of the echoes were very understated and very niche in their abilities. But they were fun. I felt like they were interesting, like Twin Sword Slicers. You know, if you can add 3 speed to it, you can freeze a rival foundation. If you combo with it, you can give your next weapon 2 damage. And we saw Twin Sword Slicer in a competitive winning deck with Kevin Broberg's Momo list when he took down the Rochester RLE, the New York RLE. We saw the Nejire Echo did really well in Amajiki decks. Just a 3 high 5 on a 5 diff that got you to gain 2 health if you were at full health, get 2 damage, and it had deadlock. Like, that's a very understated card, 3 high 5, but it was still paying dividends. So we still saw that finding play. Echoes, even though they weren't being printed at a high rate, and even though they were being made to be very niche, we're still finding success at a competitive level. Just not a massive competitive success because, like I said, they weren't giving it to us. When they first came out in like League of Villains, we were given, what were we given? Like 5 echo attacks, most of which were not very good unless you were playing like niche game plans around them. In Undaunted Raid, we were given like 3 echo attacks, I want to say. And then in Jetburn, we were given 1. Velocity Rush. 4 high 4, your next move either gets a speed or a damage. Just think about how much better Trey Size is than Velocity Rush. It's a 4 low 3, Velocity Rush was a 4 high 4. Velocity Rush said your next move gets 1 stat. Trey Size is saying free echo. Like, echo is a crazy keyword, but it comes with a heavy cost. The cost of echo is that you are playing this momentum-based game plan, and then when you use it, you flip the card afterwards, and it's not going to go to your momentum. So it's not like a full circle, right? Like, you're not just getting momentum, using it, and then putting your attack into momentum. You are using the momentum, and then you're not getting more momentum because it had to flip. So it's closed. It's not a easily repeated cycle. Well, what we're doing in Yu Yu Hakusho Dark Tournament is, with Trey Size, we're just removing the cost of this incredible keyword. We're just destroying one ready foundation is not a cost to play for the Echo ability. In fact, it's a benefit to a lot of characters. They want to be destroying their own foundation. Let's also look at like Double Fists of the Mortal Flame. This is an uncommon card that is very similar to Trey Size. I would put it in my top 15 cards in the set. Maybe this is like 11 or 12, but it's also free. You know, you get to lose 2 health, add the top card of your deck to your momentum. This attack loses Echo. It's a little less free than Trey Size, which is why it's not in the top 10 and it's not sitting here at number 1 like Trey Size. But yeah, if you have 1 momentum, it's free. It's solving its own problem of the Echo keyword. If you have a momentum, you'll first echo it, and then when you echo it, you'll have it lose Echo and get a momentum, and you'll just replace it. So we are given 2 like utterly free Echo attacks in Yu Yu Hakusho Dark Tournament. And they share 2 symbols. They share the Evil and Fire symbol. So I am thinking of as many decks as I can to where you can slam both of those Echo attacks and add damage to them, because that's going to be incredible. Karasu comes to mind as the best character for like Trey Size. On Fire, maybe a great character would be like Endeavor 3. You know, once you're adding 3 damage, it feels great. You draw a Trey Size into Double Fist, and you got 4 attacks right there, and you're going to be adding 3 damage to all of them. Dabi 2 could do something here. Overhaul could do something here. Younger Toguro on Evil adds a ton of damage for free, and then he's going to destroying a ready foundation. That's not a big deal. He can just destroy the first attack that he played that turn. These attacks are going to go crazy. These are going to be format warping. We are the design team is experimenting with, hey, what happens if we just make Echo free? If we just take away the cost of this incredible keyword. This is something that we have not seen. We have never seen an Echo attack nearly as good as Trey Size or Double Fist, just solving the dilemma of the Echo keyword on its face. So will it be too strong? We'll just have to see. I'm leaning yes. I'm leaning yes. So the question you might be asking yourself is, where are the secret rares? In my top 10, I did not have a single secret rare attack. All of the 6 attacks that I had were actually ultra rares, which is kudos to the design team, because that's how it should be. Your ultra rares should be the best cards in the set. Your secret rares should still be very good, but they shouldn't be cards that you need 4x of. When there are cards like Repeated 100% Smash and Falling Skies, it feels bad for players when they have to spend $70 per card to get a play set, and now you're having to shell out $200, $300 to get a play set of the best card. Your ultra rares, in my opinion, should be the cards that you want a 4x of, and your secret rares should be, these are still very strong. You don't want to have a secret rare that nobody wants. I'm looking at you, Looming Terror. You don't want to be a weak secret rare. You still want it to be a feels good moment when you pull these, but they should be attacks that are like 1 to 2x in your deck and you feel good. And that's exactly where these secret rares are. I don't think there's a single secret rare that I want 4x in my deck. Genkai's Guidance, yeah, I'll put 1 to 2 of it in, but it's pretty well costed. Spirit Gun Final, Spirit Sword Ultimate, True 100% Unleashed. They're all like just massive statted attacks that cost something. True 100% Unleashed is a 6 stiff. If they have any sort of reset, it's only base stats of 3/3, which is pretty terrible. Spirit Sword Ultimate. I know Pippa, one of my teammates, said that this is the best card in the set. She has a blog, Pippa Thinks. Go check it out. Incredible writer. But she put this as the best card in the set. The only problem with Spirit Sword Ultimate, in my opinion, is that you are having to commit out your stage. We have so many hand traps these days. Referee, jury, bury your shield, run away. It feels really scary to sell out into an attack like that. Spirit Gun Final has like commit 3 foundations or lose 3 health. Both of those are pretty high cost. If you do the commit 3, it's basically like this was an 8 difficulty attack. And it's an honest 8 difficulty attack, not like Walk the Dog. Power of Yoko, it's pretty it's very, very strong, but it's pretty heavily gated. I feel like you're not going to be playing it a lot outside of Kurama. Darkness, Dragon, yeah, you have to be playing this very niche game plan of losing health. So all of these attacks are things that I think you have 2 of these and you're fine. You know, in my good Hawks deck, I'm playing 2 Spirit Sword Ultimates. It doesn't really feel right to go to 3 or 4 of the card with so many hand traps out there. Genkai's Guidance, it's in action. Yeah, 1 copy is going to be fine. True 100% Unleashed, I don't even think Toguro is going to play this at more than a 2x. So that's not to say they're not good. All of these secret rares, I would say, are like top 30 cards in the set, top 40 cards in the set. They're all very good from a power level standpoint, but they're cards that you don't need to 4x. Whereas like Trey Size, Walk the Dog, Ice Sword Execution, those are attacks that you're going to be like putting 3 or 4 of in your deck, no question. So that is going to do it for this. These are the top 10 cards in Yu Yu Hakusho Dark Tournament. Let me know what you think in the comments of this video. Who did I leave out? Who did I put in here too high? And let me know your reasoning. This is your top 10. We had Trey Size at number 1, Weapon Clash at number 2, Walk the Dog at 3, Referee Jury at 4, Ice Sword Execution at 5, Dark Tournament Looms at 6, Armor of the Wolf at 7, Keiko's Aid at 8, Battle Aura Release at 9, and Edunbox at 10. And there you have it. Those are my top 10 cards in Yu Yu Hakusho.